In a 2-hour movie, you might get like 10 really great performances to study. In The Witcher 3 specifically, you get hundreds of characters, each with distinct voices, motivations, and personalities. And here's the key. The dialogue is right there on the screen if you keep the captions on. And if you don't know what The Witcher 3 is, my God, you have to play this video game or at least watch the cutscenes on YouTube if you want to take voice acting seriously. You gotta see what some of the best performances are, what people are doing out there, and see how much closer it is to film acting than it is to, animation, like traditional cartoons. So how do you practice actively when you're playing a game? When you hear a character deliver a line and you see them on the screen, don't just read or listen along passively. Try mimicking what the actor just said. Match their tone, their delivery, their timing, their emotion. Then put your own spin on it. What if this character was angrier, more scared, more sarcastic? What if they had a completely different style of voice? Look at how that character looks on screen. What kind of voice would you give it? And then just read their dialogue. After they've spoken, spit it out in the way you would do it. Free practice, fun practice. And you can do this with games where there's no voices at all. As a kid, I remember playing through like all the Final Fantasy games, and I started doing all the voices when I'd see the dialogue pop up on the screen because they didn't have voices, so I started giving them voices. I've been practicing for this my whole life. I was getting in hours of character practice every single day without even knowing. Games put you through every human emotion in 30 minutes. You experience grief, joy, betrayal, rage, lots of video game rage, and multiple times per session. But more importantly, you're making choices based on character motivation, not your own preferences. Especially in a game like, let's take Baldur's Gate 3. If you're playing like a noble paladin, all the choices you gotta make, and you can make a ton of choices in this video game. It's crazy how much depth they put into this. So if you're a paladin, you have to think like that character. How would they respond to this situation? What would their voice sound like when they're disappointed versus determined? Don't just listen to the predetermined voice that they used a different voice actor for. Read the fucking lines. Voice it yourself. How would you sound for your character? What's the voice you would do? Now you're not just watching character development, you're participating in it. You're learning how backstory affects present behavior, how different personalities approach the same problem.